Well, this is video 69 on the end of turn for winter 1715 going to the summer of 1716 Empire Total War United Provinces campaign. Sorry to all those that know that. What I did in the first part of the battle, if you remember, this is the one against the French when they've attacked me in the fort. So attacked me with large numbers, fairly decent troops, and they've got a lot of artillery. The technique was, if you remember, to put all the troops in the middle of the fort in column formation and then form them into line in the places where the enemy are going to attack. So I've got them in this corner here, as you can see. Nice crossfire. These chaps here are on melee only because they've had the enemy actually close in on them. Some of them are sneaking past, you might notice, down by the side of the building, and of course we've got another regiment that's got through here as well in the centre. We've got two attacking that. We've still got those at the back there left over from the attack that went in formally, from those that, oh, you could just see it there, just in the gate there, that flag there. So I seem to have all the bases covered at the moment. The enemy are suffering dramatically. We made the mistake, if you remember, I made the mistake of putting the chevaux de frise into the fort when the enemy didn't have any horse, which means that my horse were a little bit restricted within the fortress, so I have to be a bit careful there about moving my own cavalry around. Alright, we're engaging these on close combat, sending some of my troops that seem to be redundant now on the right hand side into a flank or almost rear attack into those in the centre, so it can cause the maximum amount of casualties on him with a minimum amount of casualties on our own. Oh, here they come again, those that were at the back. They've been routed once, they've come again, only to be shot at again and hardly even get close. See, I could have charged those cavalry in there, couldn't I, but that chevaux de frise is in the way, so that was a silly thing to do. It's a good idea though if the enemy does have cavalry there, because if they can get onto the walls they can open the gates and their cavalry will come rushing in. If you put chevaux de frise by that gate, it's fantastic. You know, it really is. It makes such a big difference. You kill nearly half their cavalry before they even get to you. Put a square in the middle, you know, and that you know, right in the middle of the fortress, which is the goal. That's how you win the game. And the cavalry are scuppered, really. You know, they can't get through the chevaux de frise and attack a square as well. So you can sort out all the cavalry, and usually the cavalry come in before the infantry, so you can get all his cavalry sorted out and out of the way before his infantry even arrive. I'm doing this, if you remember, because the walls are impossible to man. He'll bring his guns round and just blow you up. I'm forcing him to come into this massive fortress. It's too big for me to man this anyway. It's an enormous thing. Even if there were no artillery out there, there's no way I could cover the whole of this. You basically need about 4 regiments on each side, so that's about 16 regiments that you need on foot, you know, to defend this. And that's not even the outhouses, you know, the sort of outer fortresses. You know, I mean, really, you need 20 full-size units to defend a fort like this properly. And that's without any horse or artillery or anything else that you might have alongside in the fort. You know. Anyway, by the time he gets to us, by the way, this infantry, it does look quite ineffective, doesn't it? And the reason for that is, by the time he's run around all of this fortress, which is what he does in order to minimise any fire on him from the fortress guns, and then climbs a wall, comes round the other side, runs down the steps, and then in a disorganised fashion races towards the centre, he's utterly exhausted, and we're just standing there waiting for him in organised ranks and files. So that's the reason we're taking on this superior French infantry, and succeeding. You can see that infantry now is getting through the side there. We've got plenty of units now. He's coming through piecemeal, you see. I mean, some come through one side. And that's another strength for being in the centre. You can move either way. You can move your troops down to the south or up to the north, keeping a nice little reserve in the middle that can reinforce either one of them. You know, he really has little chance. I would go chasing that infantry that's just gone running out of the fort there, and I'd love to. But he does have artillery out there, and my cavalry going out there does tend to attract his fire. Just pull those round so they can get a good shot in. Strange angle they were at. Come on lads, time for a volley. Yep, just time for one. Okay, change those over to combat now. And then we'll just pile in a regiment in the side there. We'll take those off to the side and these into the rear. hit him from 3 angles at once. And we hope now to destroy that regiment completely. There are my dragoons. And in go the horse. Everything into that poor little French unit in the centre there. Nothing to come to his rescue now. I think these chaps have completely had it. Oh no. Might be coming back for more. Plenty of time to reform for anybody coming back. It's in our favour if they do come back, because there's more chance to wipe him out, and that's really what we want to do. It's really making sure that he's got to pay full price to get his units back up to full strength, or to recruit brand new units. He can probably recruit about 3 per turn. So let's make it cost him. You know, if it's what, 800-900 per each unit, you know, it's going to cost him a fortune. This is the artillery outside the walls. I've ended the game inside the fort there, really. You know, sort of just faded that one out and rushed out here to the... I've had to move the cavalry all the way around the outside of the fort, all the way round the back and everything, taking cover of ground so he won't fire at me, and then putting an infantry unit on the walls in front of that artillery very briefly, just to attract his gunfire, then getting him off the walls as quickly as possible before the walls go down, yeah, and then charging in with the cavalry. So his guns are trained on the fortress wall when the cavalry goes in, and that's what I've done there. You can see we're caught him by surprise, and we are routing his artillery. If you do it without that decoy, they can see you, they can turn round, and you can get a blast of canister shot from sometimes 10, 15 guns, you know, and each one of those can knock out 10, sometimes even 20 cavalrymen, you know, so it can be devastating. Anyhow, I think you can see now that the battle's won. We've still got that artillery battery in the background there that needs to be dealt with. I'm not too sure why that one doesn't fire at me. Maybe it's because I'm amongst his own troops, I'm not too sure, although I can't see that being the case. I think I've just got lucky there. So chasing them off, I want to get as many of these artillery units destroyed so that they don't come back into the game. Again, so like I said, it's costing him money all the time. Well, I hope that's been interesting anyway. These chaps here are chasing the artillery. I know they seem to be going the wrong way, but you see how that artillery there, they're running into the centre now. Their guns have been destroyed, so they're thinking, well, we've got nothing else to do, so they've drawn swords, and they're now going to rush in towards the centre of the fort. On reflection, I'd have been better off taking my cavalry away from them and attacking another artillery unit, and letting that infantry just kill itself on my infantry unit inside the fort. Easy to be wise after the effect, isn't it, really? But anyway, it's too late now, we've gone for it, so there we go. Take the dragoons in there, chase them off. The dragoons, if you remember, are going to help us settle populations like Paris if we decide to go in there. Also, they're a decent sized unit. They're not really a cavalry charge unit, but they move quickly, so it gives us a chance to catch up with the artillery quickly. And there's a quick close-up of you there. I hope we've got time to catch them before the game ends. Decisive victory. So there you go, quick end of the game. You can freeze frame that if you need to know the statistics, but they were pretty good actually. And there he goes. Why on earth he'd want to retreat that way, right into my territory, is totally beyond me. It's only because he's come from that direction, I think. So it automatically thinks, yes, he's got to go back to where he's come from. But to me, it would make much more sense if he were to go to back into his own capital in Paris. So there's the end of turn. I hope to see you at the next in the next video. Just before that, we'll just organise the stealing of research again, all those that haven't been stolen, and then we can start the new year, summer 1716.